Welcome back to another no budget film review, and this week we're going to learn about pick-up artistry, which might help me as my approach to girls is always extremely aggressive. And just as a forewarning, we're not going to be focusing on lighting, colour, or really any technical aspects of filmmaking because the filmmaker didn't. And when I say that, I don't mean that the filmmaker didn't try. There's a lot of people that jump into filmmaking without really knowing the technical aspects of things like shot composition or sound. And really they're just here to tell stories. And that's their way of growing. Nothing wrong with that. This week's short film is called The Secret to Dating, and it's by a YouTuber called Royal Born. Okay, so we're 55 seconds in and we haven't yet made it past the credits. But with no budget film and no named actors, your priority should be on getting the audience invested in the story as soon as possible. Otherwise they'll just switch off. So this part's pretty strange. We spend a long time waiting for this text to be typed, which reveals this quote that you would imagine would be the main theme behind this film. And having seen the film before, it actually feels quite irrelevant. And this makes me think that maybe they don't quite know what the tone of their film is. Now there's usually one of two reasons for putting text on screen like this. Number one is setting tone, and a good example of this would be Talladega Nights, which has the quote, "America is all about speed, hot, nasty, badass speed." And what that does is sets up exactly what we're in for the rest of the film in regards to tone without revealing any of the story. Number two is to give off exposition, and one of the most famous examples of this, while not being a quote but a long text crawl, is Star Wars. And what this does is gives us the surface knowledge so we're able to relate with the characters and know what's going on. But honestly, this text, when you really read it, doesn't make sense. Seriously, pause the video and read it. And I would go out on a limb and say that this was actually completely made up, because I looked up this quote and it says it's by MJ Ward, 1983. And I cannot find an MJ Ward associated with anything to do with dating, unless this is the MJ Ward you were talking about, which I think it's probably not. So why did you make up this whole quote? And not only that, make it up to not make sense.
I don't get it. What is the secret to dating?
Ow, my ears are bleeding. Let's turn that down.
We are four young businessmen, own homes, own cars, and own money. We're eligible bachelors, and you're telling me that we can't hold down a relationship, let alone a date. Something's wrong here.
Now I do like how quickly and simply they've set up the main premise here. Four guys with everything going for them have just one problem, and that's women. But the problem is that I don't see people sticking around for 1 minute and 30 seconds to get to your film's premise. So why not just start here?
That's Simba. His parents sure love the Lion King. He's the youngest of the bunch. He's the one that's scared of women.
Hey, do you want to have sex?
I think this film is doing something really smart here, which is not just saying what a character's traits are, but showing us how this character acts in a certain situation. And I think it's a really great way to get us to connect with the people. I've got to say, I do think the acting is a little wooden from pretty much everyone, but I'm enjoying it and I can look past it. I know what you're going for and you are making me feel what you wanted me to feel.
That fellow over there, he's Merv. Crazy guy.
Hey! Just wanted to see that you drop this.
This scene made me slightly uncomfortable, but I know what they were going for. This is over-exaggerated, edgy humour. And frankly, anyone that grew up on a council estate knows a guy like this. Probably knows a girl like this. Maybe is with a girl like this. But in all seriousness, this is a really fun and effective way to show your characters' personalities by contrasting them against each other. So, good job.
Well, that's Damon. He sees women as cattle.
But you don't even know my name.
Of course I do. Donna Karen.
What? Donna Karen? Is that what DKNY stands for? I don't think it is. Oh.
Chew.
Chew. Like Jimmy Chew.
Giuseppe.
Wrong.
Giuseppe, I don't even know what clothing brand that is. I mean, I'm terrible with fashion, so I wouldn't know. So is this guy's trait that he thinks all women are named after their clothes? I guess that is quite funny when you put it that way.
And then there's me.
Trey, the pussy whip single father whose girl ran off with a postman.
I find this part really strange and also very hard to explain, so bear with me. But our lead character has just broke the fourth wall, and within 2 seconds has been interrupted by someone else who has also broke the fourth wall. Or at least I think he's broke the fourth wall. He's looking away from us though. So real quick thing about the fourth wall. This is when someone within the film speaks directly to the camera. This can be done for different reasons, so maybe creating a deeper connection with the character and the audience, or maybe just to provide more exposition. But introducing two characters that break the fourth wall is not only rare, but incredibly hard to execute. For example, in House of Cards, Kevin Spacey's character has been addressing us, the audience, over the course of 4 seasons. Then, in an incredible turn of events, this happens.
Just to be clear, it's not that I haven't always known you were there. It's that I have mixed feelings about you. I question your intentions.
This was built up and perfectly executed over hours and hours of show. This, on the other hand, has confused me, and I don't quite know who can see us, who is talking to us, and who we should listen to. I don't even know if that was intentional. That looked horrific. So that, to me, is just a really strange movement for a man to make while being down there.
Did I just tell you to stop?
I just thought...
You just thought what?
I just thought it could be my turn.
Okay, so I get what you're trying to do with this whole snorkel get-up. And I'm not even going to say it's not funny, because obviously humour is subjective. The problem I see is that earlier we had this very edgy and awkward kind of style of humour, and now we're pretty much in slapstick territory. But this kind of mishmash of comedy styles is a bit confusing, and not only for the audience, but it makes me think that you don't know what you want it to be. So for the next 2 minutes, the guys reiterate the same point that Trey did just a few moments earlier, that they're generally not happy being good looking and rich, that they have everything they wanted apart from a relationship.
Great jobs, great cars. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I got money in the bank.
And we're good looking.
It'll be the perfect catch for any woman.
Be the perfect catch for any woman. The thing is, when I initially saw this, I thought that he'd flubbed the line. I didn't think that he was surprised by their presence. But that actually makes it better, because that's how he genuinely thinks he would react if surprised by 2 beautiful women. One thing I wanted to make you aware of is that the guys talk about this hot girl for the next 2 or 3 minutes, and we never see her on camera. I mean, we see this shot of a girl that isn't relevant to the story at all, but where's the girl that made the Donna Karen guy stop halfway through a word?
I was thinking, how serious are we about settling down?
I'm serious.
That's what I always say to my single friends. How serious are you about finding the one? It's general guy talk.
Very. I would wipe that Leah Pendergrass.
Oh, funny you should say that. We all like Leah, right?
Yeah.
We'd wife her if we had the chance, right? Yeah. Didn't I propose a little wager?
So the guys are so enthralled by the looks of this girl that they make a bet. But who is Leah Pendergrass and what does she look like? And this is after all of them saying that they wanted to get into a serious relationship. They all decide to compete for the same woman.
Hold up. What makes you think you're going to win?
Look at me.
Obviously the guy that's good looking thinks that he's in the best chance to win this bet. And so in his arrogance decides to describe the 4 characters sat around a table in the same way we heard them described 3 minutes ago, but less entertainingly.
Look, he scares off women.
Oh, scared
His
women off.
pussy whip still hung up over his ex. And for all them kids, he ain't going nowhere. And you're scared of women, and some may even say gay.
And I don't want it to sound like I'm going in really hard on this, because I actually like the concept. It's entertaining and it's fun. I just think that you've overemphasized and reiterated some points over and over again when you just really didn't have to.
I ain't scared of women and I'm not fucking gay.
Well, go on then. Prove it.
I will.
So the guys approach Leah Pendergrass one by one and get rejection after rejection, all fitting in nicely with their previously described character traits. And just as a little side note, this is the shot we get of the girl everyone is trying to have a relationship with. This shot, you can't even see her. So anyway, the gay one gets a sympathetic hug, the aggressive one gets a hand held up to his face, the player decides to buy her a bottle of wine while stood right next to her.
Classic Damon trick. Buy a bottle, have it sent over.
Why is he coming back?
Oh, it's all a part of his game. They call him back and, you know, that's when the killing starts.
Nah, trust me, that ain't gonna work, man.
Excuse me.
Works every time.
No, I'm sorry.
Works every time my ass.
And then finally Trey goes over, and he seems to be hitting it off until the boyfriend comes over. And he is by far my least favourite character.
This guy I thought was weird but cool. He sniffed my hair and said it was the best smelling smell in his life. But when I wanted my head chopped off when I died, he went weird, saying it would ruin my neck.
You're one of them necrophiliac guys, isn't it?
That means you like to have sex with dead people.
Nah, bruv, I know what it means, innit?
Sorry, I just threw up a lot. That was disgusting. And so hilarity ensues with the boyfriend telling all four characters why they don't deserve the lovely Leah. And I seriously wonder whether the joke here is that she's already with someone far worse than the four characters we met. Because he is the worst I've ever seen. He's the worst.
If I see any of you even looking at my girl, I'm gonna go round to your mum's house, innit? Punch her up in the stomach.
So the lovely couple finally walk away, and we're left with Trey to wrap up this whole film and tell us the meaning behind it.
That ended well. Still single. Still looking for a date. So what's the secret to dating? I don't know. Just make sure she's single.
Awesome, we didn't learn anything. Awesome. And you know what, that's no problem, because this film is a comedy in a way. And it really did take us on a journey. I think I'd prefer a trip across the Mexican border, but it was a journey. But in all seriousness, this film had a lot of good points, had a lot of bad points. But in terms of story, I mostly enjoyed it. I think there was a lot of repetition that didn't really need to happen, but I did feel invested in the characters. And again, that comes down to your initial setup at the start, the introduction and the flashbacks to represent those character traits. So great move there. And on a slightly different point, I know that you submitted about 5 films for review. And I would really say that for your next one, maybe focus a bit more on the technical aspects of it, because I think you've got quite a good storytelling style, and I think it's really let down by the visuals and the sound. So I think maybe a slower and more meticulous process would really help you out and bring your films their own kind of originality. But at the end of the day, if that's not something you want to do and you want to keep having fun and making films and putting them out there, keep doing it. The important thing is that you're having fun. See you next time.